This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Peter Fury, it's Friday night. I'm really grateful for your time, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you. How are you, mate?
It's been a long day at the end of a long week.
Always, isn't it?
It is. Peter, there's probably only one place to start this week. The Conor Benn, Benn-Eubank cancellation. Everybody's piled in with their thoughts. Can I just get yours? Because you are one of the most respected voices in the sport.
I think, well, what I will say, it is very bad for boxing, what's happened. I think it doesn't help it at all. But that's by the by. It is what it is. And the only thing I will say, VADA is is a very highly recognised thorough testing, but also UCAD is as well. And I don't believe that VADA's picked something up and UCAD hasn't. So my question is, he's been tested by both organisations. How come VADA's picked it up and not UCAD? When did UCAD become aware of it? You know, because there's a miss. There's something amiss right there. The other thing I'm going to say is for Nigel Benn, you know, his dad come out today. He totally denial, said my son's clean. Young Ben has come out and said he's totally clean. You know, why say stuff like that when it's going to come and bite you back in the ass? So when people automatically say the guilty, and this and that, you know, look, there's scenarios. What if the trainer, what if the conditioner, whoever they've got there, what about if they've been giving them stuff and not telling them?
Yeah.
What about if he's been given stuff and he's not been told? You know, they could be disguising it as a B12 injection. You know, B12 shots, you inject them. Could tell a fighter anything, couldn't they?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is everybody's assuming the guilty. There could be an army of. There could be. I've only just give you a few. There could be an army of answers there, and there could be an army of solutions. Maybe they've got the testing wrong. Maybe when they rerun it, they've done something wrong, and there's an error and a discrepancy. It's happened before. Could happen again. I'm not trying to defend anybody, but I'm also not going to lay blame when we don't know the facts either.
Yeah.
Because for UCAD not to know about it and be clean, and all of a sudden VADA's picked something up, how does that work? That's a mystery in itself. So, like I said, the jury's out, but there's one thing for sure: we will find out what the actual truth is sooner or later. The truth will have to come out because it's so high profile, and it's so damaging for boxing, and also damaging for young Ben's reputation. So it's going to have to come full circle. Look, ultimately, if he's done it, he needs to come out and tell the truth and admit to it.
Yeah.
Or if he's not done it, prove why he hasn't done it. It's not rocket science, is it? And these organisations need to speak up and say how come they've not detected it. You know, and how come it's VADA and not UCAD when they're both as stringent as each other? They don't just check for certain things. You rigorously checked. They check for everything under the sun. So how come one's picked it up and one hasn't? So there's a lot of question marks around it. But either way, it needs sorting out so everybody knows where they stand.
Peter, can I ask? This is allegedly something that they've all been sitting on for a few weeks now. A, what do you think of that? And then B, once it's public knowledge, do you think the fight should have been immediately called off, or can you understand why they prolonged it, see if they could get it to go ahead?
I honestly don't know what, you know, I don't know why, you know, it's you know, why take it into fight week if they knew 2 weeks ago? You know, so obviously they've been trying to get this fight over the line, hook or by crook, you know, any which way they can get it over the line, which isn't, it's not an ideal situation, and it's backfired. and it's backfired terribly, hasn't it?
How do we
it's
sort it
not
out,
good.
Pete?
None of it is good, is it? But you're asking my opinion. My opinion, I don't know what it is because I don't know the facts.
How do we sort this out, Peter? Because this isn't the first time that we've had this, and I'm talking about on a wider scale. How does boxing get a handle on tests and testing organisations and a procedure that if something like this happens again?
I think, look, they need to look at it. They need to clean the sport up because it is unfair. If somebody's cheating, if somebody's training themselves silly in the gym, there's only so much training a clean athlete can do. He needs maximum recovery. If somebody's juiced up, they can train around the clock. So there is a big advantage. There's a big advantage mentally and physically because if a fighter's juiced up, he knows he's got that. He knows he's got that edge. So it's giving him that confidence they wouldn't normally have. So it is. It needs dealing with because it's unfair. It's not a level playing field, and sport needs to be fair, especially when you got two people going against each other. It shouldn't be tipped. It shouldn't be tipped one way or another by drugs. Basically, it needs to be fair, doesn't it?
It does. Pete, the last one on this. As a trainer, if you had your fighter going into a fight and a positive test was revealed, what would your actions be?
Well, we've been there, Steve, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've had all this over time, and it's there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of stuff which obviously we can't go into for legal reasons, but Jesus Christ, it's a minefield.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not so quick to lay blame anywhere because there is a minefield. There's so much that can go wrong there. It's ridiculous. So much involved in it. So, like I say, it's I don't know really. But look, ultimately, if they're found guilty and they've done absolutely wrong, then that's it. They shouldn't be boxing, should they?
Indeed. Peter, can I just say on a personal level, it's refreshing to hear somebody saying that they're not laying blame and they're waiting for facts because it has just been a pile on this week, hasn't it, since the news broke? And I know that's social media at the moment, but it's pretty vicious, hasn't it?
Well, it has been vicious. And I will say, for the father to come out, that Nigel Benn, the man's a legend in the sport. And, you can see the hurt in his voice. That's my son, he said, and he's clean. And, the man obviously believes he's clean. The son probably believes he's clean. And, look, if somebody's coming out and making statements, bold statements like that and saying, I've not done anything, I'm one of these. I'd like to give any man the benefit of the doubt. So for me, that's what I'm going to do.
Good man.
Because I don't want to. And look, if they are banked to rights and they've done it, then what can you say? They've got to be the biggest idiots on the planet. Yeah, to let the legacy go down the tube like that. They must be. If he's done that, he must be the stupidest young man that ever's walked this fucking planet. That's it, isn't it? As well as being banned, you got to say it's pathetically stupid, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Are they that stupid to go and do that? There could be a valid explanation, like I say. I hope there is. I hope there's a good explanation for it. But I don't know if there is or not. Listen, they called the fight off. They knew 2 weeks before. It's obviously a very serious matter. So they're going to have to deal with it. And I hope they do sort it out.
Brilliant. We'll move on, Peter. Thankfully, we only have to wait an extra week for another huge fight. Savannah and Claressa.
Yeah, Savannah's done her last bit of training now over this week, and she's all ready. She's ready to go.
Can I ask how the delay affected both Savannah and yourself, Peter? What did you have to do with those extra few weeks?
She had a total week off. She come back in the gym. What did we have? We had 4 weeks off, didn't we? Was it 4 or 5 weeks?
I think it's 4 weeks this weekend.
Okay, so 4 weeks. So 1 week off, 1 week easing back in, 1 week hard sparring, and 1 week, probably a couple of weeks out of couple of weeks full sparring, but not long rounds. You know, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, that type of stuff, because she's already fit. If anything, the delay has helped Savannah even better, because because we've cut the rounds down and she's feeling bull strong. You know, she feels stronger than what she even did in before, because she was trained up to ease down, but she had a very, very hard camp. But now, because we've eased her back and she's had a full week's rest, we've eased her back into it, and she's had good sparring, hard sparring. But like I said, she's only been doing like 6 rounders, not like 10s. So it's the training's been a lot more explosive, but shorter.
Brilliant.
And that's give her a lot of recovery. So she's raring to go.
Brilliant. She's in the unique position, Peter, that this will be the second media week that she's done. How was she before the sad news of the Queen passed away? Was she okay with the media week? Was she confident? Was she buzzing?
Yeah, she was ready to fight. She was all systems go, and she was ready. So these things they're unforeseen things. We can't deal with what's out of your control, can you?
Yeah.
What if you don't know about something, and something happens? How can you deal with it? You just got to deal with the cards you dealt with. It was one of those things. But thankfully, the fight's back on, and the only thing I'm a little bit miffed with is what I'm going to say at this press conference, because what can you say? It's already been said.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to sit there and say, yeah, it's a fight. Savannah's going to punch her in the mouth, and she's going to punch Savannah in the mouth, and we'll see who hits the hardest, see who's the best. That's it, isn't it?
Has she been practicing her American accent, Peter?
We've not spoke, and like I said about that, it's all about Savannah. She hasn't got, Savannah knows she's got to concentrate on what she's doing.
Yeah.
Claressa can do and say whatever she wants. Savannah's in her own space. Savannah knows what she's got to do, and she's super confident in her own ability.
Last one on Savannah, Peter. I know we've asked you this before, but just for anybody that hasn't seen an interview with you, what will this mean to both Savannah and yourself for Savannah to become undisputed champion next weekend?
I believe it's Savannah's destiny, and I think we're looking at a superstar in boxing, and I just think it's going to be magnificent. I think it is a 50-50 fight, and always these type of fights can go anyway, but I've got faith in Savannah getting the job done, and I think it's going to be magnificent, and there will be a new superstar in women's boxing in the UK.
Brilliant. Peter, Huey, we touched on Huey off camera there. How is he, first of all, Peter? Because, there's the personal side to this. Is Huey okay?
Huey's all right. He's just taking time out. He doesn't feel good in himself. He's still having side effects from the problems he's had earlier on in the year. He's not firing on all cylinders, so he feels very lethargic, lacking in strength. So he's taking time out. He's getting treatments to get himself back on the right path, and that's it. So Huey's out till next year. He's definitely not in the right place to box this year. Needs rest.
What will the plans be next year, Peter? Because of the absence, will there be a temptation to fast track him even faster, or will you go the other way and take his time?
No. He's had 29 fights, and he'll be in a serious fight. Who that may be, I've no idea right now. It's not even been discussed. But next year, he'll be in a serious fight. Whoever wants it with him, he'll fight, won't he?
Indeed. He's proven that in the past, Peter.
Yeah, look, exactly. It's not for me to go on like a parrot, because we all know in boxing there's a lot of naysayers. You say stuff and they don't believe it. It's something like this with this Benn situation. He's been annihilated.
Yeah.
When I look at stuff like that, I don't like it. It puts us not as a good society, to be honest. It's bad enough what's happened, and we all know the consequences, and we all know about being a drug cheat. We all know about everything under the sun. But please give somebody the benefit of the doubt. You know, they haven't spoke up yet. So if that's the case, and we go on like we're going on, then yeah, why are we having a judge and jury?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we pull people off the street and say you're guilty? Yeah, there's 40 years up your ass.
Yeah.
And throw in a dungeon. Why do we have a judge and jury then? You know, if we're going to just say, that's it, you've done it. It's in your system. That's it, you've done it. Well, how's it got there? How good is that test?
Yeah.
How come UCAD's not picked it up? Yeah? Has somebody give it to them without them knowing about it? There's loads of ifs and buts there. We don't know yet, do we?
We don't, Peter. That's
and look,
yeah.
And they may be right. They may be right. He's done it. And when he's done it, yeah, throw the book at him for it. That's fine. But let's see the proof first, isn't it? Before you start doing all that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the least common approach these days, Peter, taken by people.
Listen, young Ben's only a young man. My advice to him, if he is involved and he's done it, come clean, hold his hands up, and, you know, get a deal done or whatever he's going to do. Admit to it. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody tells lies sometime in their life. You know, just admit to it, and that's it. Get on with it. Take the ban, whatever it is, and move forward. Because it will only get worse, won't it?
It will. Pete, the very last one, and you've touched on it in regards to society. When Savannah's fight was called off because of the death of Her Majesty, we saw some of the worst of society there, didn't we? With the criticism and the anger that the fight had been called off.
You know what it is, yeah? I've always admired that the Queen because of what she stood for and everything. And listen, my mother passed away at 86, and we've all got mothers. And, you know, we've grown up with the Queen all our life. I've never seen anybody else. You know, and, you know, we all look at the Queen like similar to our own mother, to that generation and everything else. So I had no problem with it whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I was half pleased to see the respect being shown to the Queen anyway, not the other way around. It's when you're looking at levels of life and people like that's done service to this country for that many years, yeah, and all of a sudden you're kicking up and down about a daft, stupid fucking boxing match, right? Because that's what it is compared to a life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sporting event, not somebody that's represented the country for 70 plus years, yeah, who's never put a foot wrong, yeah, who's at the highest of moral value. Shouldn't even be spoke about, should it?
It shouldn't, Peter. Unfortunately, some will.
Well, I never had a problem with it. Savannah certainly never had a problem with it, but none of our team had a problem with it. And what is 4 weeks?
Yeah, exactly.
What's 4 weeks? I think when I done jail when I was a young man, I sat on the toilet longer.
There's a mental picture, Peter.
Yeah, exactly. I done solitary confinement for about 15, 16 months. So obviously 4 or 5 weeks to me is like 4 or 5 minutes.
Well said. Peter, before we go, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anyone else in the stable? I saw you had, was it Jumbo out a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, look, my door's open. I'm helping people. I don't want to be known as this trainer taking on fighters. Not the case. You know, people come in, they come to me, they ask me for advice. They want to come to the gym, the door's open, you know, and that's all it is. I don't want to be trainer of a lot of fighters. You know, I'm not looking for maximum credibility for training fighters. All I'm doing is helping them. It's a hobby for me, you know, and I just want fighters to do good and do the best they can and put them on the right track. That's where I'm at this stage, and just want the best for everybody. That's it. And I'm not going to badmouth anybody because that's not my style, you know. And I hope young Ben and his dad, I hope it really does come right for him. I really do.
Well said, Peter. Peter, you're a gentleman. What's the weekend got in store for you?
I'm just at home with the missus, and you know, it's nice to have just relaxing down now. I'm here till Tuesday. I'll make my way down to the fight venue, the hotel, on Tuesday. and that's it. So yeah, I'm just relaxed here, having a nice lie-in the morning,
Glad.
have a coffee in bed or whatever. Yeah, just the normal things. That's what I like.
Happy
It's
days.
quiet. I've got nobody around me. I'm just me and the missus by ourselves. It's a bit of peaceful time.
Brilliant. Peter, I'll let you get back to the missus. I'll see you ringside next Saturday.
I look forward to it, Steve. And what about yourself? What have you been doing?
Well, back at work, Peter, so I'm looking after the younger generation.
You look a bit different yourself. What's different about you?
My hair a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. It must be that.
Few more wrinkles, Peter.
No. You're looking well. You're looking younger. No worries.
I'll give you the tenner next week, Peter.
No problem. And thanks for that Guinness. Every time I see you, you bring me the Guinness, don't you?
Yeah, I can't promise I'll get one in the O2, mind. I'll try.
No, leave it this time. But thanks anyway.
You're a star. I'll bring it to the hotel afterwards when we're celebrating, Peter.
No problem, Steve.
All right.
Good to
Have a
see you
lovely
there.
weekend, sir.
Same to you. All the best.
Take care, Peter.
See you, Steve.